Welcome to our presentation on interviews that myself and Cathal carried out on two professionals who for the purpose of this presentation will be referred to by pseudonyms. The interview was based on two questions, which were: how do individuals working in social care develop their identities as professional practitioners, and what do practitioners currently working in the field wish they learned in college?
The professional whom I have interviewed has studied in Waterford Institute of Technology. She is qualified with a 2:1 honours degree in social care from the Institute. She stated that she gained a great knowledge base on how to be professional and learned tools on how to find a professional identity. After Edel had left college to pursue a career in social care, she began working in a residential care home in Dublin City. She worked in this residential care home for 3 years and then moved to work in a private residential home for another 2 years, which she found very challenging. By working in these areas, Edel found that they do not do enough in college to help them against physical abuse. Edel then changed profession to working within the homeless sector. She was also based in Dublin City. She revealed that she felt that there wasn't enough covered within the social care degree that links with the homeless sector, such as drug addiction, creating housing applications, also how clinics work, such as methadone clinics. Edel felt that creating your own professional identity can be a slow process but can also be quick, depending on the professional. She felt that it happened relatively quickly for her. She believes that different areas of social care work require different types of identity, such as residential care and homeless. For her, she felt the two areas require different identities. The step from residential care to homeless work changed the outlook on Edel's identity. She believed the approach for working with teenagers is a lot more sympathetic than working with the homeless. When working in the homeless sector, Edel believes that it is different, as you might have to be a lot stricter with an adult than what you can be with a teenager in care. Edel believes that overall colleges need to do a lot more modules around specific careers within social care. She said that there is little to no work done in colleges when it comes to the homeless sector, which she believes is a growing industry and most carers are going to get working.
The professional I am going to discuss for the purpose of this presentation will be referred to as Margaret. Margaret is working in a family resource centre. She has worked there for 13 years since the centre opened. She has a VTech Level 5 certificate in social studies, which she obtained during her career. Margaret started off as a volunteer, helping out in her local community. As a result of this, she became an employee at the Family Resource Centre when it was established. She completed a Level 5 certificate later in her career, but before that she developed her professional identity based on experiences through facing challenging areas such as boundaries, as Margaret lived within a 5-minute from the setting. As Margaret had no college qualifications for the first 6 years of her occupation, there was a lot she wished she had learned in college. She would have benefited from knowledge around reflective practices. She felt that if she had experienced some form of PDP, it would have helped her a lot around the area of creating boundaries in her professional self. Both professionals share a knowledge of the services in which they use. Even though they both work in different sectors of the social care field, these sectors interlink with regards to the services that they use. Edel, during her time working in residential care, would work with family resource centres. Similarly, Margaret's work in the resource centre would have dealings with people in residential care.
The main contrast between both of these professions will be that Edel studied for 4 years and has received a Level 8 honours degree in social care, while Margaret had no qualification but left and received a Level 5 qualification. Also, the experience that Edel has of different care settings is greater than the experience which Margaret has.
Vicarious trauma can be described as the transformation that occurs in the inner experience of the therapist or worker, in this case Margaret, that comes about as a result of an empathetic engagement with clients' traumatic material. Margaret had a particularly hard time around the issue of boundaries. As she was a well-known local living less than 5 minutes away from the setting, she knew and was sometimes very close with some of the service users. This was difficult when they would come to her with problems, sometimes that would be hard to hear. It was difficult in these situations to remain professional and not act as a worried friend or caring neighbour. One particular case led her to experiencing this vicarious trauma, which was her motivation to take a year out and gain the proper knowledge to deal with these situations. Professionals are those who possess a systematic basis of knowledge that belong to a professional association which operate under a code of professional ethics and are regulated through a recognised career leader. Margaret found it particularly difficult to feel as if she had a professional identity when she started out in this career, due to the fact she had no qualifications in the field, just training courses. As she struggled to find her professional identity in the first half of her career, she decided to take a year out and get some proper education in the field by completing a level 5 in social care. After this, she had more confidence in her work, and within a year of returning to work, she became a manager in the setting. Both professionals were affected by personal identity as they experienced lack of confidence as they started off in their career. Adele was coming out of college straight into a job working with professionals with years of experience, which made her nervous of her professional identity. Margaret, on the other hand, only had experience, and the lack of qualifications made her doubt her ability as a professional.
In contrast of both theories of social professionals, Adele felt that she found her professional identity relatively quick, seeing as she had studied a lot on professional identity, while Margaret stated that she had to go back to college in order to be able to find hers. Also, another contrast is that Margaret had experienced vicarious trauma theory, while Adele stated she had not. Overall, from conducting these two interviews, Clodagh and I feel that it was an extremely beneficial project, as we both got to look at two different types of social professionals. Also, we both found it interesting comparing and contrasting both professions to see the difference between each one. We would both like to thank everyone who has listened to our presentation. We hope you enjoyed it and that you gained some knowledge about the areas of work in which we discussed. If anyone has any questions or has been affected in any way from this presentation, please feel free to ask either of us, and we will do our best to address the questions asked. Thanks, and have a lovely day.